Okay, today's install video is the Atlas Throttle Lock. There's a lot of talk about this, and I want to see how easy it is to install it, and if it actually works, and how it works. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to install it, then I'm going to take it for a ride, and then give you my review. But first, we'll do the install. Let's see what comes in the package. So it comes with an alcohol swab, and it comes with little spacers, thick ones and then thin ones, and 2 screws in case you lose one. And it gives you the perfect size Allen wrench to go with it as well. And then the throttle lock. I was actually impressed by the weight of this thing. It's not a cheap plastic. It is metal. It is solid. So this is how it works. It puts pressure, by pushing this. Then this pops forward. This piece right here pops forward to put pressure and hold your lock. To hold your throttle in place. So you need a little bit of pressure to push it in for sure, which is good. You don't want it, and see how this kind of comes open a little bit? See how it's open there? And then when you push it back in, and you release it, you hear that click? So that's how it works, but let's see how to actually install it. Okay, let's get started on the install. I laid everything out nice and neat on the bike, and we'll see how it goes on. So before I get started, I do want to mention, I've been meaning to do this, and I'm sorry I haven't done this earlier. Brandon King, he sent me a throttle assist, which is something really similar to this guy right here. And he sent it to me as a gift. I just thought that was the sweetest thing. So I want to say thank you so much, Brandon King, for thinking of me and hooking me up with that awesome throttle assist. So thank you so much. But this video is about the Atlas Throttle Lock. So the name on this is a little bit misleading because it doesn't actually lock it. It holds it. So my biggest concern when I was looking at this was what happens if you have to kind of emergency stop? Is it going to allow you to stop, or is it going to be accelerating? But I was told you can you can adjust it backwards or forwards without having to undo this switch if you need to. So when I test it out, I'm gonna show you how to do it. So the first thing we're going to do is it comes out of the packaging like this, and everything you need comes with it. You don't need any extra tools or anything, so that's good. My kind of install. So what we're going to do is we're going to pull this top piece off right here, okay, and we're just going to set this down. So the next thing we need to do is make sure that this fits in here of how we want it to go. And if there's any space between, and there will be, between your throttle lock and your box here, you want to put one of these spacers in. 3 different size spacers, small, medium, and large. So in order to test which ones work for you, before you actually stick them on there, you want to put it on there and see if it fits in there with the space. So I think for me, the medium spacer is going to work best. Sorry. So like any other good project that you work on your bike, you want to make sure everything's nice, clean before you stick something to it. And they send you the alcohol pad that goes to clean it all, to wait for it to dry. Patience is not my strong suit. Almost dry, almost dry. And I'm just going to use one tab is all they recommend. So you just pull off the tape. Okay, push it on there nice and tight. And that's what's going to be making your throttle stay in position. Okay? So having a good tight fit is perfect. So this rounded part is going to go towards your grip. Then you want to place this on top. So how it's going to work is, this is where this hole right here, you can see, the little hole to the left right there is where a screw is going to go. And the area to the right is where this piece is going to go. So it's going to go on like this and kind of clamp on. So squeeze it in there real nice and tight. Make sure you're okay. Then I'm going to go through and lock it into place. This part's a little bit tricky. Reminds me of handcuffs. Don't ask me how I know about handcuffs. Okay, so it's on there loose. I want to click it a couple times. I'm going to be shocked if this thing works, actually. Then you take, both screws are the same. Now you want to get the screw in that little hole there. It goes, you can see it goes through, this hole here and into the screw hole. Just want to tighten it a little bit. And then now, don't tighten all the way yet. Get it into the position that works, that you think will work best for you. That's good. And now you want to tighten. Now you want to tighten everything as tight as it can go. I'm going to try my mallet. This should not be that difficult. I don't really understand what's going on. Okay, that's working. So you need a mallet to make this work. Okay, here's me on the highway. It takes a lot of pressure to push this. You gotta have a strong thumb in order for this to really work, which is good because you don't want it. It's kind of cool. So my understanding, and I'm going to try this out on the highway. Actually, before I do that, let me tighten this screw up. Screw up. So my understanding when you're on the highway or wherever you want to use your cruise control or cruise lock is, you're down here, you push really hard on the top button, and now it's stuck in this position. And that way when you're going, it should maintain, say 55 miles per hour. that when you want to accelerate, you could, without touching this, you can also accelerate and it'll hold it there for you. You could also, I'm sorry, that was decelerate. You could also accelerate it. Suppose you want to take it up to 65 and it'll hold it at 65. Now my big question was, and now I've asked and answered it myself, if you have to do an emergency stop, what do you do? So if you can't act quick enough to disengage it, which is the bottom button, you can always turn it all the way up and it goes into stop position. It does not lock it in place. And that was my big concern. Is it's going to lock me to go 55 miles an hour, and then how do I get out of it if I need to? Because if you're about to get in an accident, you don't want to be fiddling and thinking about what to do. You want to be able just to do it. So you just, go forward with it and do it. So off. So I'm gonna try it out on the highway before I post this, and then I'll come back in a little bit and give you a review of how I think about it and how it works. But the install, it wasn't hard. It takes a few minutes to get used to it though, to try to figure it out. And I'll come back and give you my review. Okay, we're about to get on the highway and test out the throttle lock and see how it does. I'm a huge fan of the cramp buster. I have a whole video on that and what works great even over grips, so check that out. But I do notice I still get fatigue on long rides. I feel like on the open highway and there's no cars around, it would be great to have some kind of cruise control, even if it's just temporary, to kind of give your wrist a break. So I'm very curious how this helps and how, if it works. Let me get on a good space and we'll check it out. My first time using it. Okay. Let's try it. Okay, no hands. And it seems like my speed has evened out at 76. And it's on. Which is, now it's up to 77. Now it's 78. So I'm not quite sure why my speed is increasing. So that's a little weird. It's weird. It's not locking in at a speed. It's actually increasing it. I'm going to try it again. I took it off, but I'm going to get past a few cars and then I'm going to try it again. I bought it on Amazon, so I can return it if I want to. But I'm probably not going to return it, only because, it's nice on brakes just to be able to take your hand off the throttle for like a couple, a minute even. But I'm a little disappointed that it's doing that. Let me try again. So it's locked. My hand's off. And it just keeps increasing and increasing and increasing. That's a bad design. But now I want to test, like, if a car went in front of me, I can just twist the throttle and slow it down if I want to. So that's good. So it doesn't lock it where you can't get out of it. but I'm not quite sure why it increases the speed. So it's not really a throttle lock, it's a throttle increase your speed. Not what I was looking for. The search continues, maybe? We'll try it one more time. I really don't know, what's going on. I like the idea that, see, now I have it locked and now my speed is slowly decreasing. So I turned it off. It's not perfect, that's for sure. I was hoping for better results than this. Not perfect for sure. So anyways, put your comments down below and let me know if you've had similar weird stuff with it.